Hey, what do we got?
Brian, you thought maybe after a couple of weeks Jonathan Dorr would be able to help you. Where is his status at this point?
I'm going to sit down with Brian tonight when we get into Boston, and we'll make that decision. Here's what I can tell you. He had a really good week.
Brian, how would you evaluate the wideouts at this point, and what areas are you looking for improvement from them?
Well, you know, Tim, honestly, I think we have to settle on, you know, where are we going to play certain guys? You know, we're kind of in a flux in terms of where are we going to, where's Claypool fit? Like, here's a young receiver that just needs, you know, he just needs some seasoning, he needs some time, but we're kind of, is he an inside guy, is he an outside guy? We can't take reps away from EQ, you know, and Cam's played a lot on the outside, so quite frankly, we've made a decision, and I don't want to tell you what it's going to be because I think that would compromise us a little bit, but from a coaching standpoint, the first move here is to settle into where these guys can best help us. And then I think everything flows from there. That's the best I can give you on that. I think after this weekend, that question will clear itself up a little bit better. Yeah.
Are you kind of in a different situation, but somewhat similar with tight ends? Not so much that they're playing different roles, but who can help you in what situations and so forth? Well,
you know, they've all graded out very well in terms of, you know, blocking and catching the football. You know, we want to be a little bit more consistent, certainly. We've had a couple of drops here and there, but I think you're going to continue to see, you know, at least three and then a specialist with Brock. You know, Cole's the kind of guy that has got great athletic ability, but we don't want to, you know, we don't want to duplicate because now we're pulling reps away from somebody that has similar traits. So I guess the easiest way to answer the question would be we love them all, but you know, it's a long season, so I think we're gonna really continue to play all three of them, all four of them, and the fourth being in a certain situation, and kind of slowly integrate Cole into the mix.
Right, I want to go off the beaten path a little bit here. I'm doing a story on Austin Webster.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about it. Can you revisit what sort of caught your eye in scholarship, captainship, the whole works, and how is he holding up so far?
Well, you know, as we're looking at our why and why we're here at Notre Dame, you know, he really personified the why, and the why being, you know, to uphold the tradition of Notre Dame football. That's why he was here. You know, he loves Notre Dame, paying his own way to be on the football team. Also a heavy contributor in a lot of ways in terms of leadership, morale, camaraderie, just a very well-liked player in our program. So he had a lot of the traits that I needed to kind of reinvigorate our football team with. So that's why I pushed him out front in that respect.
So far, so good this season?
Oh, yeah, and he's actually, I think he's probably done more from us from a football standpoint than we expected, because he's on all of our running teams and doing a really fine job in special teams. Yeah.
Just going back to receivers, I know there's no such thing really as having too many or so, but with all the options that you have there, is there a bit of a problem as far as just deciding not only where to fit, but how many to play in a game?
No, I think that I think after this weekend, I think everybody's going to have a clearer view as to the guys that need to be out on the field more and what our direction is going to be. We still need the depth. We still need the players that we have. Guys are going to get banged up, and we're going to call on, I think, what will be outstanding depth at our wide receiver position. But we really have to start to feature some guys that have maybe not all the experience, but have a higher ceiling at times.
Right, it's the first of 5 true road games. That's the highest number in the country, tied for the highest number in the country. What is it about this team that makes you believe they'll be a good team to take on the road and have success in that environment in 5 big games?
You know, the best road teams I've had are teams that love to play, and enjoy the moment. Have that ability to, marshal up the grit necessary to win close games, because you're going to have those kind of games on the road. You're going to have to overcome adversity in the crowd and things of that nature. So the best teams that I've had have had those traits, and this group has that. So it will be a team that like this that will go on the road and have success. And quite frankly, they need to win. We haven't, it's been a while, so they need to have some success. And I think once they do, they'll be in a pretty good place.
How did Brandon come through this week after Saturday night and the test that he took?
I thought this was a real good week for him in terms of learning to handle the position of quarterback at Notre Dame, in the sense that it's not going to go all right for you, and you've got to be able to bounce back in a sense that you've got to learn from what happens and take that and move forward. And, I thought he took the coaching well. I think it's important still that he knows that he doesn't have to be the reason why we win games. He's got a great supporting cast. So it's important that we do a good job coaching him too, and that we don't say, hey, you've got to go out and win these football games for us. So it's a little bit of, clearly articulating to him that, look, you don't have to go out there and be spectacular. You need to go out and be Brandon Winbush after 2 starts. And that is pick up on the little things, keep growing from there. There's still a learning curve out there for you, so we don't expect you to have everything down after this week. Let's grow on what happened last week, and I thought that happened this week.
Was there ever a challenge for him, having watched Deshaun last year? There was so much on Deshaun's plate in terms of responsibilities within the offense that Brandon just thought, well, I'll just pick up where he left off? Brandon,
I don't think that Brandon really had a expectation relative to what we were doing offensively from a big picture standpoint, because he wasn't sure where we were going with it until really we got into camp, after spring ball. So I don't think he kind of sat around going, all right, I got this thing. So, and we, quite frankly, we knew what we wanted to be in terms of running the football, but in terms of the passing game and the other pieces, we were really trying to form it around him. So I think he's kind of evolving with it.
One of those pieces that Chip's offense is the RPO concept. Is that something he's still kind of growing into right now? I know you guys...
Yes and no. I mean, there's some RPO to it, but it's really off of some of the zone read stuff. I mean, we were actually a bigger RPO team in Deshaun's first year. And with our offensive line, we don't need to be 3.5 yards downfield. We don't need to trick anybody. We can hit you in the mouth. So we just, you're going to see RPOs. I think what we need to be better at in terms of that is our nakeds and boots, and so that's kind of where I think the evolution will take place for him.
I must have heard yesterday just about the film that guys watch away from outside of this, how much film does a guy need to watch on his own time for it to be enough film?
Well, that's a good question. So it's how you watch film, and so it has to be directed. We use a system with our quarterbacks that is we think it's quite innovative to help our quarterbacks lock in on particular things within what they're watching. So we think that there is clearly an advantage if you know what you're doing with film, that you can build the necessary recognition. But if you just go in there and sit down with something to eat and just throw the film on without really clearly know what you're looking at, you're not getting anything out of film study.
I would assume that's part of Brandon's learning process, to be sharper with his time with film.
It is absolutely crucial for the quarterbacks to have directed film study, and Exos technology has something that we feel is quite unique, that allows us to do some directed film study with him.
Brian, a few of your defensive players have mentioned Jalen Smith as someone that's inspiring him, somebody that's communicating with him. I wondered where you were of that, and also, as busy as you are, if you got a chance to kind of follow his comeback and see him play for Dallas the other night.
Yes. I didn't see the game, but I have followed him and have been in contact, and he's been terrific with our players and staying in contact with them. I can't think of one guy that has been, more motivating to our players, and watching his, come back from injury, and then just the way he's handled himself. I saw something on the Sports Center about his attention to detail, and I was really happy to see that, because we talk a lot about that. So I sent him something regarding attention to detail, and he was all over it. So I was pretty fired up about that. But yeah, we're following it quite regularly.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.